General Hospital spoilers tease that Gio Palmieri is about to unearth a truth so monumental that it will shake the very foundations of his identity and the lives of those who have tried so desperately to protect him. In recent episodes, whispers have circulated around Port Charles that Gio, already a young man of remarkable talent and ambition, will learn that his biological parents are not only alive, but have been living within arm's reach of him all along. Never before has a revelation threatened to cleave the Palmieri Quartermain household in two. As the quiet storm gathers, it appears that Lulu Spencer, a friend and mentor whose loyalty to Gio runs deep, will be the one to break the news. Yet Lulu, fearing the explosive consequences, will insist that Gio keep this secret locked away, at least for the time being. From the moment Lulu first pieces together the evidence, Brooke Lynn's clandestine meetings with her mother, Lois, Dante's hushed conversations in shadowed corridors, the abrupt financial shipments to Joe's violin instructor, she senses that the time is near. She approaches Gio at twilight in the Quartermain Mansion's music room, where the young violinist practices with fervor. In the flickering candlelight, Lulu's voice trembles as she reveals that Joe's world has been built upon a lie. Brooke Lynn Quartermain and Dante Falconeri are his true mother and father. The implications crash down upon Gio like a tidal wave. He staggers back, violin still in hand, unable to reconcile the woman he has called Aunt Brooke with the mother he never knew. Lulu's request that Gio keep this revelation to himself comes fraught with urgency. She knows Lois, Brooke Lynn's mother and Joe's grandmother, has orchestrated a silence so complete that not even the Corinthos family patriarch, Sonny, has suspected the true nature of their connection. If the secret leaks too soon, Gio may lash out in confusion or betrayal, cursing the very people who have given him a life. Lulu's plea is heavy. She asks Gio to allow her to probe deeper, to unearth the reasons why Brooke Lynn once consented to his adoption by another family, and why Lois, despite countless opportunities, has always staunchly protected this secret. In the hush that follows, Joe's mind races. Every memory flickers through his thoughts: the loving embrace of his adoptive mother, the quiet generosity of Brooke Lynn when she visited, the stern yet affectionate presence of Lois whenever she dropped by with groceries or gifts. He recalls Dante's rare but earnest conversations with him, where the detective offered fatherly advice without ever revealing too much. The revelation that these moments were orchestrated to keep him in the dark cuts deeper than any knife. Lulu, sensing his turmoil, begins to unravel the tangled web of decisions that led to this point. Years ago, Brooke Lynn was confronted with a choice that tore at her heart: to acknowledge Gio as her son in the face of a scandal-bound media frenzy, or to shield him from the inevitable fallout by allowing him to be raised as someone else's child. The Quartermain name, already fraught with internal divisions and public scrutiny, could not withstand another scandal. Lois, ever the family matriarch, feared that if the truth emerged and Gio publicly embraced Brooke Lynn, the backlash would be not only personal but devastating to their entire legacy. Lois's motives, Lulu explains, have never been born of malice. They sprang from maternal instinct, a desire to protect her granddaughter's reputation and her grandson's sanity. In Lois's eyes, the $250,000 inheritance Brooke Lynn risked losing, the lawsuits that could follow, the press conferences and paparazzi camped outside General Hospital, it was all too much. The fragile piece of their lives depended on silence. But as Lulu lays bare each justification, Gio begins to see the cost of that protection: the years of quiet longing, the absence of a mother's daily presence, the gnawing questions about his own worth. Yet Lois's intuition has always been correct. Should Gio learn the truth, he might never forgive them. The wounds of abandonment, the hurt of not knowing one's origins cut deep. Joe's childhood was not without comfort. His adoptive mother provided food, clothing, a roof over his head, and paid for his violin lessons. But the love and resources came at a price: the gnawing sense that he did not fully belong. Even as Brooke Lynn sporadically supplied funds and affection, she kept him at arm's length, fearful that if she revealed her true identity, the world would judge her harshly and Gio would be consumed by anger and confusion. Then there was Sonny Corinthos, a man notorious for his iron-fisted control over Port Charles's underworld, yet capable of surprising generosity. Unaware that Gio was his biological grandson, Sonny quietly funneled additional money into Joe's education, recognizing the boy's talent and longing to support the arts. For Sonny, it was a small gesture of good in a world he often dominated through fear and violence. For Gio, it was a lifeline, a chance to nurture his gift. Neither man knew the truth, that their bond would later hinge not only on respect but on blood. As Lulu's narrative unfolds, Joe's sense of self begins to fracture. The violin in his hands feels foreign. The melodies he has practiced are suddenly infused with the weight of this new reality. He clenches his jaw, the notes of his song broken by the turmoil within. Lulu watches him with sorrowful eyes, bracing herself for the storm that is sure to follow. Despite the entreaties to wait, Joe's heart races with a fierce need for clarity. He drifts through the Quartermain's lush corridors, where portraits of generations past gaze down with silent judgment. He ponders his mother's absence, the mystery that has shadowed his life, and the grandmother who, in her attempts to protect him, may have wounded him most deeply. What right did they have to decide that he was better off ignorant? The question burns in his mind like an ember threatening to ignite. By the time he reaches Lois's study, the storm breaks. The matriarch sits behind her mahogany desk, the soft glow of the desk lamp casting long shadows across the room. Lounging on the Persian rug are folders, sealed adoption papers, letters from Brooke Lynn, financial statements dating back years. Lois looks up, her composed demeanor faltering at the sight of Joe's clenched fists and burning eyes. "Grandma," he says, voice low but laced with accusation. "Why didn't you tell me?" Lois inhales sharply, eyes glistening. She rises slowly, as though each movement carries the weight of decades. "I did it for you, Gio. I kept you safe, from scandal, from pain, from the cruelty of the world that would torment you for my daughter's mistake." "Safety," Gio echoes, voice hollow. "You call this safety?" In that confrontation, the layers peel away. Lois recounts Brooke Lynn's whirlwind romance with Dante Falconeri, the brief moment of joy when they learned their child would survive the high-risk pregnancy, the devastating appearance of paparazzi the day Brooke Lynn considered a public acknowledgement. The memory of Brooke Lynn's tear-streaked face as she signed the papers, her hand unsteady, reveals the agony of that choice. Loyalties were torn, to family name, to personal happiness, to a child's right to know his parents. Joe's Italian heritage, his remarkable flair for performance, the grace with which he handles his violin, all of it traces back to Brooke Lynn's blood. Yet, the knowledge that his very essence was hidden from him for years feels like a betrayal in itself. And Lois, who has lingered on Port Charles's periphery of power, now stands accused of orchestrating his ignorance. The silence that once seemed protective now feels like a prison. But Lulu's earlier warning rings true. The pain of discovering such a secret can be so profound that forgiveness feels impossible. Gio collapses onto the edge of a chaise longue, his violin case thumping beside him. He thinks of Brooke Lynn's gentle smiles, of Dante's rare embraces, and of the adoptive mother who provided him shelter. He wonders which bond is truest. Which love runs deeper, that which is given unconditionally, or that which is rooted in shared blood and stolen by circumstance? As the first part of the saga reaches its crescendo, the audience is left dangling on the edge of Joe's decision. Will he retreat from the Quartermain mansion, abandoning the life he has known? Or will he seek answers from Brooke Lynn and Dante, demanding the truth he so rightfully deserves? The tension is palpable, the stakes immense, a family on the brink of implosion, a young man's identity in flux, and a legacy of secrets poised to unravel. The fallout from Joe's earth-shattering discovery will ripple throughout Port Charles, setting the stage for betrayals, alliances, and unexpected acts of redemption. In the silent pre-dawn hours following his confrontation with Lois, Gio packs a small bag, his violin, a change of clothes, and the adoption documents he stole from Lois's desk. He slips out a side door of the mansion, moving with purpose toward a future he can't yet predict. His destination is unclear, but whispers in the corridors of power suggest one likely refuge, sunny Corinthos' Corinthos mansion, where a grandson might find both sanctuary and guidance. The train ride into the city becomes a crucible for Joe's emotions. As the skyline of Port Charles emerges through the window, he replays every conversation with his mother figures, every ounce of kindness wrapped in restraint. He recognizes that both Brooke Lynn and Dante acted out of fear. Fear of scandal, fear of public opinion, fear that their child might be consumed by the revelations. Still, fear is no excuse for betrayal. Joe's heart pounds as he considers his next move. Will he confront Brooke Lynn at Deception, where she now serves as creative director? Or will he find Dante hidden somewhere within the precinct's labyrinth, yearning to do right by the son he never acknowledged? Meanwhile, back at the Courtemain mansion, Lulu Spencer stands in the echoing halls, guilt gnawing at her. She knows she triggered this chain reaction. Her decision to tell Gio, to pierce the veil of their carefully constructed reality, was driven by her belief that he deserved the truth. Yet as she gazes at the empty rooms, she wonders if she has condemned him to a life of rootless wandering. In desperation, Lulu seeks out Maxie Jones, a friend whose own life has been marred by secrets and revelations. Maxie, who knows firsthand the pain of learning hard truths, offers counsel steeped in empathy. "You can't undo what's been done," Maxie warns, her voice soft. "But you can help Gio navigate it. He needs allies, not more lies." Together, Lulu and Maxie set out to locate Gio before he makes a decision that could sever family ties forever. Their search leads them first to Sonny's mansion, where the Corinthos patriarch awakens to the news that his grandson has arrived unannounced. Sonny, ever the strategist, listens to Joe's story in his stately study, flanked by guards and looming portraits of his empire's rise. Gio expects anger or derision. Instead, he finds a surprising mixture of guilt and pride in Sonny's eyes. "Kid," Sonny says, voice low and measured, "I didn't know. But now that I do, you've got a place here, no secrets, no games." It is the first moment of genuine acceptance Gio has felt in years. Yet, even as he contemplates Sonny's offer to stay at the Corinthos estate, a new question arises. What about Dante? A son cannot be whole without a father's acknowledgement. And Dante, plagued by guilt over his silence, has spent countless nights in the interrogation room, racked by the knowledge that his own flesh and blood is reaching out for him. In the police station's bullpen, Dante Falconeri stares at the station's bulletin board, where photos of local cases cling to the cork. His phone buzzes with a text from Lois, pleading for him to keep silent for Joe's sake. But another message follows, an untraceable SMS with only 2 words. He's here. Panic and hope collide within Dante. He grabs his coat and flies out of the station, racing towards Sonny's mansion, the blue police lights reflecting off his cruiser's windshield. As Dante arrives and steps into Sonny's grand foyer, the scene is tense. 3 generations of a fractured family standing on the precipice of reconciliation or ruin. Gio, violin slung across his back, watches as father and son lock eyes, eyes that mirror one another in shock, longing, and regret. For a heartbeat, the world holds its breath. Then, with trembling hands, Dante extends his arms. "Gio," he whispers, voice raw. "I'm so sorry." Tears brim in Joe's eyes. He steps forward, and in that embrace, the promise of healing flickers. Yet the moment is bittersweet. Forgiveness is not instant, and trust must be rebuilt brick by brick. Brooke Lynn's arrival completes the tableau. She stands just inside the doorway, framed by features that echo Joe's own, the same determined jawline, the same fearless gaze. Brooke Lynn's composure falters as she sees her son, grown and wary, and the two women who brought him here. Their reunion is a symphony of emotions, love, guilt, relief, and pain all interwoven. Brooke Lynn's voice cracks as she murmurs, "My son," while Lulu silently bows her head, aware of the sacrifice that truth demanded. Sunny retreats into the background, allowing the family to confront the hurt they have caused each other. In this moment, Port Charles witnesses the power of secrets, how they can protect, but also how they wound. As the sun sets over Corinthos' mansion, a new chapter begins. Gio may choose to stay under Sunny's roof while he sorts through his feelings, leaning on the man who once unknowingly supported him. Dante and Brooke Lynn, guided by Lulu and reconciled by Joe's tentative forgiveness, will face the consequences of their past decisions together. And Lois, once the keeper of secrets, must confront the judgment of a grandson who now knows her motives in stark clarity. But before any decisions are final, one more revelation awaits. Sunny, reflecting on his legacy, realizes that the Corinthos Empire cannot simply pass to his grandchildren by blood or favor. He must test Joe's mettle, his capacity for leadership, and his willingness to bear the burdens of their world. As night falls, Sunny summons Gio to his study and poses a proposition. "You want a family? You want a home? Then step up, kid. I'm tired. It's time someone else wears the crown." The weight of uncleared ledgers and open investigations rests upon Joe's shoulders. His violin case feels heavier now, filled not just with instrument and bow, but with the future of Corinthos' power. In the hush that follows, Gio gazes at the city lights sprawling below. He understands the crossroads before him: pursue the life of an artist, unburdened by legacy, or embrace the tumultuous path of a crime family heir, guided by the man who is both grandfather and mentor. The decision will define not only his destiny, but the fate of every soul bound to the Corinthos name. This is but the beginning. The revelation of Joe's true lineage has upended alliances, forged new bonds, and ignited questions of loyalty and identity. As Port Charles holds its breath, one thing is certain: when secrets finally come to light, lives change forever. And for Gio Palmieri, the journey from ignorance to empowerment has only just begun.